Welcome back once again to Southern California. Cal State Dominguez Hills our site, and a tight game so far. Juniors hanging close. Joel Myers along with Jim Gatto, who joined us now, the Director of Global Sports Marketing for Adidas Basketball, and another successful trip into Southern California from an international standpoint.
You know, it was a great year. You know, this is our 5th year here with Adidas Nations, and it keeps getting bigger from an international standpoint. You know, we had 5 teams this year. We brought the Australian Institute of Sport this year. And, you know, again, teams from Africa, Asia, Latin America competing very hard and learning the game in the United States from great coaches like Mike Dunleavy and Detlef Schrempf, and it's been a great week.
What an experience, because we're talking about athletes from 18 different countries overall.
Yeah, from all over the world, and it keeps getting bigger each year. We got to turn some people away every year, but we know next year we're going to come strong, and Canada wants in, and we're going to try to get them here next year as well.
It's a great story.
So, Jim, when you put on an event like this, what is the overall goal?
The overall goal, you know, for these kids is to get the experience of playing against other kids from around the world, and also learning life skills off the court. You know, getting coached by some of the greatest coaches and players that used to be in the NBA. Like I said, Mike Dunleavy, Detlef Schrempf, Alex English is here this year, bringing great teaching to these kids, and just learning from each other and getting those life skills on and off the court, and how to be a great person in the community.
Yeah, speaking of the community, Jim, and you guys also had a community service day today, which you do every year. Talk about that.
Well, that's part of the program. I think that's what these kids need to learn, that, you know, on and off the court, they got to represent themselves and their families and where they live, and just give back to the kids. And you know, that's what the NBA is all about as well, with the NBA Cares programs that they have. And when they get to that level, hopefully they'll understand what it's all about.
I like what you talked about, though, with the maturation, the socialization process of these youngsters coming here and what they gain, not just basketball-wise, but life skills.
Yeah, I mean, they sit down every night after. I see them joking around in the Adidas lounge and playing games, playing ping pong. And, you know, these guys might meet up someday in the World Championships, the Olympics. So, you know, they'll know these kids from 3-4 years ago from Adidas Nation. So it's a great opportunity for them to learn and have fun with each other.
Talking to Jim Gatto, who is the Sports Marketing Director for Adidas Basketball. He has joined us courtside for Adidas Nations here on CBS Sports Network as Williams Goss takes it in. Nigel Williams Goss makes it a 4-point game once again.
Well, Jimmy, I think from an international standpoint, the biggest success maybe out of this is maybe a guy like Serge Ibaka.
Yes.
But when you go from year 1 in New Orleans to now year 5, is this what you envisioned this looking like?
Exactly. We totally envisioned this. You know, we've gotten bigger since that first time Serge Ibaka showed up. And for us as Adidas, trying to build ourselves globally, you know, we want to see these international kids because, you know, the NBA game is global, and hopefully a guy like Steven Adams, who's had a great 2 years coming to the Adidas Nations, you know, we're building a relationship with him, and, you know, down the road we'll see what happens. But it's been great for everybody involved.
Speaking of NBA guys, Eric Gordon's been here this week. John Wall, Derrick Rose was here. He was in our Open. Talk about their influence and how great it is to have them involved in this Adidas Nations as well.
Well, our NBA guys are great. You know, like I said, they're part of their communities as well, and they came yesterday. Eric Gordon, Derrick Rose, Drew Holiday came through, and even Candace Parker was coming through, and, you know, they love the game of basketball and they want to give back as well.
We have a college counselor component as well, and a pretty impressive list of guys you had on that side of the court too.
You know, that's another aspect of the Adidas Nations, bringing in 30 college counselors to help mentor these young kids, as well as, you know, competing against each other, against some of the great coaches. Kiki Vandeweghe was here this year for us, and looking forward to every year to expanding on that and growing that and getting the best kids at Adidas Nations.
Tarczewski off the miss is blocked away by Mickey. And here comes Solomon Poole once again. And boy, nobody can believe he's, what, 6'1" at the most?
He's not 6'1".
He's
but I'll tell you what, he is at the rim.
He's my side. I can't jump like that.
How many inches in those shoes? We're talking to Jim Gatto. And you know what's really a lot of fun, too, is the counselors' games. Because it's got to mean a lot to the players here that we're watching when they watch some of the best in college basketball in the nation, because those are the college counselors.
Well, they see the next level. And you see some of those college counselors, and you see how strong they are, and they've worked on their bodies. And they've gone to the next level, and you know, these guys got a lot to work for, and you know, these guys, they help mentor them and, you know, tell them what it's all about.
I'll tell you what's great too, Jim, as we take a look at Poole and his athleticism, is a lot of the guys that were here as high school players in the U.S. come back as college counselors because they love the experience so much.
Yeah, it's a great program. Like I said, you know, it's a family atmosphere, and we're lucky enough to bring them back and show them, you know, the other aspects that we can bring to Adidas Nations. Like this year, we did some BAM testing, like the NBA does, and incorporated that this year, and I think that was very successful for us.
Well, I think what people should know too, Jim, is that this starts for the U.S. kids. This year was in Chicago, then Las Vegas, then Houston, and then this nation's tournament culminates that whole program for the U.S. kids. Talk about that.
Well, yes, you know, through the first 3 months before the Nations here in August, you know, we bring the U.S. kids to certain cities, and we have a training camp just so they can work with each other and understand what the coach is trying to do and learn about the NBA game, the sets, and everything else.
Now you see the way it all develops, and the NBA players that are here, former NBA coaches, and then the officials taking over. It's an interesting process, and also the bottom means a lot too. To take care of your body. Right,
and that's again the off-court stuff that we try to instill in these kids, that you got to take care of your body on and off the court. So we use our partners from API that come in and tell you what you should eat before a game, what you're supposed to eat after the game, and also how do you take care of your body, how do you work out each and every day and become a better player.
Tell you what, Joel, there's no French fries at those dinners after the workouts. I'm telling you that right now.
Well, you brought up BAM testing, so it's got to be a thrill for them because they know the NBA players are going through the same at the NBA Combine.
Right. I think it gives them an early indication of what they really have to do at the next level, and maybe get a head start on what they have to do and what they got to improve on. So when they do get to that level, you know, they know what's coming, and they get better from day one and work on their vertical and get stronger and bigger.
Yogi Ferrell putting them back up by 4. We continue our conversation with Jim Gatto, the director for Adidas Basketball Global Sports Marketing. And a real good match in our third place game as Pinson lays it off. And yeah, it's a beautiful pass to Trey Lyles.
Pinson's a difference maker. He's really done a nice job.
Terrific job. And Lyles with the catch and finish. They're hanging around here, only down 2.
Set up Tarczewski from Yogi Ferrell. That's a classic pass by a true lead guard who's got a pretty good jump shot too.
Well, guys, I want to thank you. I appreciate you having me sit here, and I also want to have a shout out to my daughter Grace. It's her birthday today. Just want to say happy birthday, Grace. Love you.
Grace, hopefully your side wins in this first game on CBS Sports Network. As Xavier Johnson gets a late bucket, and that'll do it for the first 20 minutes of play. Jim, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jim.
Jim Gatto from Adidas. Very entertaining first half. It looked like the juniors were going to be overwhelmed. Well, they